What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to another Football Manager Simulates. And today we have a slightly different one, and I say slightly different with the caveat that I know we've done players at non-league clubs before on the channel. If you've not seen them, Messi and Ronaldo, Mbappe as well. Today, though, I want to see what impact a centre-back has on a team in the non-leagues of English football. So here we have Hereford FC. We've got Virgil Van Dijk playing for them. And we're going to see how he gets on, what kind of impact he can truly have on the game as a centre-back. We're not going to make him any younger. We're going to give him a 10-year contract here at the club and see how he gets on. I am slightly terrified they're going to play him as a striker. You can see their pre-season prediction, if we just look at it, is first place with Van Dijk's addition. So hopefully he can do big things for them. It's going to be interesting to see how Russell Slade lines up the team. And while looking at Virgil van Dijk here, he's pretty complete as far as centre-backs go. He is the best centre-back in Football Manager. And, well, let's just see how he gets on today, shall we? So to start things off, we'll go forward 1 year. Hopefully Hereford are going to get promoted at least once in this video. Otherwise, it's going to be a little underwhelming. And, well, let's see how they got on in Season 1. Predicted favourites to go up. Virgil, what can you do? So to start off this FM Simulates, I have to give a shout out to the sponsor of the series here on the channel at the moment, and that is the OneFootball app, which is a free app available for iOS and Android. You can use it to subscribe to teams, to divisions, to certain players, keep up to date and get all your footballing news on one centralised free app to download. I use it on the daily. If you play Football Manager, you have teams that are obscure that you can't keep up to date with, but feel near and dear to your heart. OneFootball allows you to keep up to date with them. Check the referral link at the top of the description, and a massive thank you to them for sponsoring this video. Okay guys, so we have gone forward 1 year here, and well, the good news is he's not declined massively as a player, and he's played a great deal of football. You can see 36 games played. If we just look at it, he's played all of his matches this season actually at centre-back, so the fear that they might try and convert him to a striker has kind of left my mind slightly, which is good. But you can see here a 7.59 average rating. That is very, very good. By all accounts, I imagine that's the highest in the league. And well, Hereford, where did you finish? They finished first in the league. And you can see here they played a 4-4-2, which Van Dijk was in charge of. His partner in crime at centre-back is Jason Pope. I mean, there's a slight contrast in their abilities, but to be fair to Jason, he's got, I was about to say he's got a good average rating. He hasn't got a good average rating. It looks like they have been largely carried by Van Dijk. Let's have a look at the league table. So they won the league by 2 points ahead of York City, who ended up winning the playoffs. And well, if we just look at the league table in detail, they conceded 28 goals in all competitions, which is by far and away the best defensive record in the league. In terms of goals scored, they lacked a little, but well, when you only concede 28 goals in 46 games, in general, you're going to do pretty well. So Van Dijk having an immediate impact here. I'm a little bit surprised at how bigger an impact he's had. Obviously, he hasn't been getting the goals for them. That would be a little bit much to expect. Tommy Wood has been banging them in for them. He's been on loan from AFC Wimbledon. You can see here they've got Tom Owen Evans in their team. So Hereford are looking pretty good here. Obviously, they're going to build around Van Dijk. Looking at it, though, lots of players in on loan. So this next season could be tricky if they can't get in suitable replacements. If we just look at contract expiry date as well, wow, okay, they've got a lot of players with contracts expiring at the end of this season, so there could be a huge turnover of players. Van Dijk, I mean, his contract slightly stands out, doesn't it here? £20 a week, he doesn't need more than that. He's got a paper round on the side. But yeah, he's doing okay. Anyway, unlike some of my other videos, I want to try and keep this down to one singular video on Van Dijk's impact. So we're going to go forward 2 years this time and see how he's getting on. I will say now, if you're enjoying this video and it's your first time here, do check out the channel, check out all the content we have going on here. And just one little side thing for those of you who absolutely love the FM Simulator, and I know there's some of you who watch these religiously. Do we still want to see Messi and Ronaldo at the same team? I kind of threw that idea out and people... There were some people who were like, yes, I want to see it. And there were other people who were like, maybe, maybe not. I feel like there's maybe a different way we could do things where maybe we add... I'm trying to think now. We add 3 attacking players who are kind of an iconic trio. I don't want to make it Salah, Mane, Firmino, but that's the kind of group of players I'm imagining. Maybe it would be Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe. I'm not entirely sure. We can make Pep Manager, but if there's an idea like that in there that you guys like, leave a comment with what you would like to see around that rough concept. And if you see an idea you like in the comments, thumbs up that comment so I know that's the one that's popular. Anyway, let's go forward 2 more years and see if Virgil is getting, well, on as well at Hereford as he started, shall we? Okay, folks, so we've gone forward another 2 years, and, well, it's not looking great because he is still in the Vanarama National League. So they've not been promoted. I'm going to guess they've not been relegated. They couldn't have been relegated. But obviously, Virgil van Dijk, now 30 years old, he's going to be entering his older years of his career. We're going to see his physicals probably start to fall off, so keep an eye on his polygon as we continue forward now. However, I feel like at centre-back, he's probably got a longer shelf life than some of the attacking players we've done in similar videos to this one, so I feel like he could play for a little bit longer. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Of course, he's got a contract here until he's 37. And, well, you can see over the last 2 seasons, he's done superb. I didn't really mention it before, but he got 16 player of the matches in 36 games last year. That's absolutely nuts for Hereford. You know, for a centre-back to get that many player of the matches, their kind of impact on the pitch can't be underestimated. Last season, he got 3 goals and 4 assists and 11 player of the matches. This season, 11 player of the matches again, 8 assists and 1 goal. So slightly fewer goals, but just getting an absolute boatload of assists from centre-back. I'm going to assume he's just lumping the ball forward and they're running onto it. Let's have a look at where they finished in the league. So they finished 8th place. Their media prediction was 5th. George Boateng is now the manager. And, well, it looks like Van Dijk didn't play the last game of the season, but the formation that they are playing is a 4-3-3 of sorts. You can see Van Dijk has joint most assists, which is kind of funny. If we just look at the league table, yeah, they fell a little off the pace in 8th place. What was their conceding and kind of defensive record like? You can see here they conceded 48, which isn't exactly crazily good. Like, it's okay. It's not the best in the league. In fact, it's a little way off the best in the league. And, well, in terms of goals scored, they didn't exactly shine there either. So he's chipping in with a lot of assists, but I do feel like a singular defender can't have the same impact on a team's overall defence than, say, an attacking player can have on the attack of a team. You can see here, if you just look at defending, where is defending? We've got attacking. Oh, I want to be on player stats. That would help, wouldn't it? If we go to player detailed here, we can look at some of the defensive stats here. So team goals conceded. He's not here. He's not done that well. Tackles per game. Can we see him? He's not there again. Although one of their other players is there. Tumani. We'll just call you Tumani. It's easier. He's getting a lot of tackles from centre mid. In fact, he's a very good player. I feel like he's probably helping out Van Dijk. I mean, he has to make fewer tackles. You can see here Van Dijk is averaging 4.94 tackles a game. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed team goals conceded. I can't see his name here. It's not there. In terms of mistakes, I'm hoping we're not going to see him here. And, well, we're not. Key tackles, does he appear anywhere on this list? He does a little way down the list, but still up there. He's got a lot of tackles, and he makes a lot of key tackles as well. It's quite apparent. Key headers, is he here? I'm conscious that I'm missing him. I am missing him. He's in 5th. Basically, what we're realising here is that Van Dijk statistically is doing a lot. You know, 2nd most interceptions in the league. He's so complete as a defender. He just can't quite do it on his own, which isn't entirely surprising. But anyway, Hereford, not the craziest of years, but tipped for promotion. Let's see if they can get it in the next couple of years. We'll go forward 2 more. We'll be 5 years into this, halfway through Van Dijk's time at Hereford. He'll be 32, and, well, let's see how he's getting on, shall we? Okay, folks, so we are back. Van Dijk, 32 years old. There's a hint of red in the centre mid position. Have they been playing him at centre mid? I mean, they've played him once there. I don't think we can claim he's been converted to play centre mid. He is still in the Vanarama National League. Of course, he's, you know, getting on a bit now. He's 32. His physicals don't seem to have taken too much of a hit yet. And, wow, they've won the league. Their media prediction was 3rd, and they've gone and done it all. Luke Murphy, now manager. They've gone back to a 4-4-2. You can see Van Dijk playing alongside Deshaun Bernard here, who looks very, very good. It's got to be said. That is a huge upgrade on his centre-back partner that we saw Van Dijk have in his first season at the club. They have won the league. I guess we should have a look at how they've won it. And they finished ahead of Northampton on goal difference. Their records were the exact same. I almost feel bad for the fact Northampton have missed out on promotion there. You can see they didn't actually kind of do that well defensively. 49 goals conceded, 88 goals scored for was actually the difference maker. We'll have a quick look at how Van Dijk influenced things going forward. But yes, certainly defensively, not the craziest of records. 4 goals and 4 assists in 36 matches. Player of the matches, he only got 6 this year, although last season he got 20. He got 6 goals, 7 assists, 20 player of the matches and a 7.73. It was his best year by far. Where did Hereford finish that season? They finished 8th again, so it wasn't even an improvement on the previous year, but Van Dijk just tried his utmost to carry them to victory and just couldn't quite do enough. But yes, he's still looking very, very good. They've now been promoted to the Football League, which is going to be interesting. Entering the twilight years of his career, over the next couple of years, he's really going to start to drop off. I feel like 34 years old for me, if I'm playing Football Manager, is the hard cut-off point where I'm sat thinking, I need to replace this player now and just phase him out of the first team. We'll see if that happens for Virgil and go forward another 2 years, I think. Very surprised they're trying to play him at centre mid. Curious to see if that develops into anything more. And yeah, let's go forward to 2026. They're going to be entering the Football League now. Hereford, can you stay there? I mean, their squad is looking very, very good, isn't it? What the hell is happening? Hereford, what are you doing? Van Dijk, I mean, I'm most interested in watching his positions develop. It's like watching a game of Battleships to play out. I'm assuming that he's played each of the positions in red. So he's now played right mid, right back and left back. At 34 years old, the physicals have definitely tailed off in the last 2 years. But, and I've only just noticed this, League One. So Hereford must have got back-to-back promotions. How have you done that, Hereford? Show us. So they won the league and then last season they finished 3rd. And this year they finished 7th in League One, which is incredible. Van Dijk is still listed as their key player. He's got 12 player of the matches this season. This is the formation they've been playing with John Coleman in charge. And well, he's still playing alongside Bernard, who looks like he's been doing pretty well, to be fair. I mean, given the fact he signed for them in the National League and he's now played the previous 2 years, he looks like a fantastic little signing, doesn't he? Anyway, let's have a look at the year that they got promoted from League 2. They finished 3rd place, so they didn't even do it via the playoffs. That season, they conceded 54 goals and scored 72. So it wasn't, like, by miles the best defensive performance in the league. But it seems like Van Dijk is just giving them a really solid base and a player that they can play through. And then this year, well, they've done very, very well, obviously, to finish as high as they have in 7th place. You can see he's played left-back once, centre-back the majority of the time, a 7.53 average rating when he's played there. Last year, I was about to say he only got 1 goal and 3 assists, which feels like a harsh critique of a centre-back, but then you realise it's Van Dijk and some of these previous years he's had. This most recent season, the first season where he's not scored a goal, but 11 player of the matches with only 5 assists. He must be putting in some of the best defensive performances in the league. Let's have a look at how the league played out. So they finished 7th. Their goal difference doesn't look anything too spectacular. If we just look at a detailed look at the league table, defensively, they conceded, I mean, they only conceded 47. What was their media prediction? Okay, their media prediction was 21st. So to have a defence that was the 6th best in the league, you kind of have to give them a lot of credit for. In terms of goals scored, I mean, they're way down on that list. So it is defensive, like their defensive ability for Hereford that's really making it work for them. They've got Keown at right back, who looks pretty solid, to be fair. And they've got a regen here, Smith, on loan from Derby County at left back. I mean, that's a really mighty defensive line. And then in goal, they've got Nathan Bishop on loan from Cardiff, who looks like he's good for this kind of level. I'm going to assume that Van Dijk is in the season preview media Dream 11 at centre-back. Of course he is. He's the only player here. Although, interestingly enough, if we just compare all the different players from all the different teams in the league, I mean, where is he on this list? Is he at the top and I've missed him? Am I blind to Van Dijk? I'm now looking for him as we scroll through and I can't see him anywhere. Where is he? Matt Lansdowne's there, Nathan Bishop's there. For some reason, he's not listed as one of their key players. Answers on a postcard as to what that's all about. Worth noting that this year he played 35 games, so he's not played every single game this year. Although you can see, looking at his injuries, he had a twisted ankle at the start of the season, which I imagine would have knocked back his physicals just a little bit. But he's still doing very blooming well. I'm surprised he's been able to carry Hereford as far as he has. Obviously, it's difficult to know exactly how well Hereford would do, but We've seen similar results to this where a team can get to League One with one of these elite players. I genuinely thought with a defender it wouldn't be the same, so I am very, very surprised. Obviously, you can see Van Dijk's got his move in 3 years' time, which I think is how far forward we'll go now. We've got a good idea of how far he's been able to get Hereford. I can't help but feel now, with his age, kind of aging happening, because he is getting older, that happens to all of us. Van Dijk is not a robot, but with his aging happening, obviously he's going to decline as a footballer and probably be playing a little bit less. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll go forward 3 years. We'll have a look at the end of his time here at Hereford, the decade he's had, what he was able to achieve. And then I think we'll holiday just a few seasons to see how he gets on in wherever he ends up. And also how Hereford do in his absence. So yes, let's go forward to 2029. And yeah, let's see how Van Dijk's getting on with his career way down the line. I think the most impressive thing is the fact he's still really good at jumping. His mentals and defending have actually got slightly better over time as his physicals have declined. But yes, this polygon is kind of representing his physicals. They've gone off the cliff edge. This is the cliff edge here. You can see, besides his natural fitness, balancing and jumping, he's kind of forgot everything else about his game. But let's see how Hereford are getting on. They are still in League One, so they've not been promoted. At the same time, they've not gone down. He is still listed as their key player. He did get the most player of the matches as well, which at 37 is a pretty mean feat. And well, you can see here the last 3 years of his career. So in his second season in League One, he got 15 player of the matches, which is one of his best seasons ever. A 7.52 average rating with 7 assists. Then the season before this one that we're at now, 4 goals, 5 assists, 8 player of the matches. And then this most recent season, we've seen the cliff edge kind of fall off. You can kind of tell by his average ratings that he's kind of peaked now, even if he is still listed as their key player. In terms of past league positions, they finished 15th and then 14th. And then this year they finished 16th. So Hereford have kind of found their level now. We can just have a quick look at how they've done defensively over these years. So they actually scored 48 goals in 46 games, but they only conceded 51, which gave them a really, really good finish in 26-27. In 27-28, they scored a few more goals, to be fair to them, but defensively they were still very, very solid relative to a lot of the teams in and around them. It was really what has steered them clear from, you know, a potential relegation scrap. They finished 11 points above the drop. And then this most recent year, they finished 9 points above the drop. Defensively, though, they conceded 70, but I did notice Van Dijk played significantly fewer games this year. If I had to guess, maybe a bit of old age, maybe a few injuries. You can see he had a twisted ankle and was out for 4 weeks. But I imagine he just struggles to play week in and week out. If we just have a little look at Hereford's landmarks here, you can see that during Van Dijk's time at the club, they have turned professional. Obviously, they won the Vanarama National League. They've also won the Leasing Cup this season. I mean, fair play. You can see they won here on penalties. I'm wondering if the match review for this game still exists in the game. It might now take 5 minutes to load. But Van Dijk got the most player of the matches in this competition, and he lifted some silverware at Hereford. I mean, what a way to go out aged 37. You've got to respect that quite a lot. I find it very interesting the fact that he was stuck in the Vanarama National League for a few seasons and then got back-to-back promotions once they got to League 2. I've noticed that in a lot of these videos, and it makes me feel like the National League is crazily competitive for getting promoted. But then on the flip side, the difference between League 1 and League 2 and even the top National League teams doesn't seem to be that big. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions here. Anyway, you can see here how they got on. Did he even play in this game? He didn't, although he came on off the bench. I wonder if due to his low condition, maybe he came on in this game late because of the injuries that he's been having. He did score his penalty, to be fair to him. It was the penalty that won them it all. If we just have a quick look here at his milestones and his biography, I'm now looking for the Vanarama National thing. So winner medals, National League with Hereford, some nothing trophy with Liverpool, the leasing trophy with Hereford, Vanarama National League. So yeah, lots of National League stuff. He won the National Player National League North Player of the Year, the Vanarama National... I can't speak. The Vanarama National League Player of the Season on 3 occasions, League 2 Player of the Year, League 1 Player of the Year on 3 occasions. Basically, he wins a bloody lot of awards, and actually the game does recognise how good he is defensively. and I think it would be safe to say he's had a massive impact during his time here at Hereford. Anyway, for one last time, guys, let's go forward. Let's see how Van Dijk does in the remainder of his career, how Hereford do in his absence, and yeah, without further ado, I'll see you in a second. Okay, folks, so we've gone forward to 2032. Van Dijk is a manager, and to be fair, he's not the worst manager I've ever seen. Compared to Messi and Ronaldo, he looks like he'll be a good little staff member. You can see he's not made a great deal of appearances for the Dutch national team. I don't think he got a cap during his time at Hereford. And, well, you can see here, having joined Liverpool on a free transfer on his 37th birthday. That's not true. It wasn't his birthday. His birthday's in July. It was nearly his 38th birthday when he joined. He got shipped off to Russia for a few years, where he did okay for CSKA Moscow. I guess he showed that he still had a little bit left to give in the tank. But yeah, he didn't achieve greatness, aged 37. I hate to break it to people. Meanwhile, for Hereford, let's have a look. They finished bottom of Ligue 1. They got relegated the season after Van Dijk left. They finished 23rd. They conceded 74 goals, which was the third best defensive record, or rather, the third worst defensive record in the league. It's like golf. The higher the score, the worse you've done, in case you didn't know how goal difference works. They then got promotion back to League One, finishing third, and then this year they've got relegated again. They've just not got the team or the quality. You can see their goal difference is awful, not enough points. It's almost as if it required a world-class centre-back to keep them at the level that they were at. And yeah, you can see here some of the players who have taken over the mantle at centre-back. I mean, similar set of positions, to be fair, for this guy, Yeboah. I'm going to butcher the last name. You guys know me. It's awful when I try and say names. And also Jalala here, who's quite a ball. I mean, I want to say he's like Van Dijk, but I mean that in the sense he's got kind of good off-the-ball passing and vision for a centre-back, and that's about it. But yes, Hereford, they've struggled without him, unsurprisingly. Van Dijk didn't do a great deal in the rest of his career. Did he end up being a kind of club legend here at Hereford? Of course he did. What a stupid question to even ask. You can have just one last look at his career stats here. He had a pretty good time at Hereford over the 10-year spell. I'm surprised with how well he did. And, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this FM Simulates. This one, I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I've tried to cram it all into one singular video. I hope it didn't feel rushed. I hope it felt like you got all the necessary information. Let me know what you made of this format. Slightly sharper, slightly snappier than some of the other ones where we take a bigger deep dive and do it over multiple parts. Let me know how this worked for you. And yeah, thank you again to OneFootball for sponsoring this video, as well as a number of the other FM Simulates on the videos over the recent kind of history of the channel. Obviously, you guys know I don't do a great deal of sponsorship videos. They approach me. I use the app on the regular. If you do enjoy my content and it sounds vaguely interesting, it's a football app and website where you can keep up to date, follow and subscribe to specific teams. The link is there at the top of the description. It's greatly appreciated if you've clicked it, and especially if you've got to the end of this video. You must be able to tolerate my voice a little bit and, well, enjoy the content here. But anyway, folks, that is all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.